How's it going, everyone? Rosalind here. Today I'm going to be covering how to get each of the 6 possible endings in SMT III Nocturne HD Remaster. Please note, however, that due to the nature of this video, there will be some minor spoilers. And of course, if you have any questions about this video, Nocturne, or any other game that I cover, feel free to hit me up over on Twitch at twitch.tv/RosalindGaming or over my Discord server, both of which are linked in the video description. So without the way, let's get into it. As stated, there are 6 different endings in SMT III Nocturne. The Reason of Musubi, the Reason of Shijima, the Reason of Yosuga, the Freedom Ending, the Neutral Ending, and the True Demon Ending. Throughout the game, you'll be given different dialogue choices, and depending on how you answer them, a hidden point system will assign points towards one of those endings. However, this point system is really only important if you trigger flags for multiple different endings. You see, more important than this hidden point system are key decisions, or flags, for each of the game's different endings. And so long as you hit the flags for the ending that you want and don't hit the flags for the endings that you don't want, you don't really need to worry about this point system at all. As such, this guide will be focusing on the flags for each ending so you know exactly what to say and do in order to get the ending that you want. The Reason of Musubi is the one that is associated with Isamu. In order to get this ending, you want to make sure that you aren't hitting any of the flags for either the Shijima or Yosuga endings, and you want to make sure that you do not complete the Labyrinth of Amala before entering the Tower of Kagutsuchi. As for the important dialogue flags, when talking with Isamu inside of the Amala network after completing the obelisk, you want to answer "I can relate" when he asks you if it would be nice to have a world to yourself. And then you want to answer "alright" when Isamu asks you if you would do it for a Musubi at the end of the Temple of Amala. Do those things and you will get Isamu's ending, the Reason of Musubi. The Reason of Shijima is Hikawa's ending. Much like with Musubi, you don't want to complete the Labyrinth of Amala before entering the Tower of Kagutsuchi in order to get this ending. You also want to make sure that you aren't hitting any of the flags for the Musubi or Yosuga endings. The first flag for this ending comes when you are speaking with Hikawa in front of the Mantra HQ after completing the obelisk. Hikawa will ask you, "Do you not agree that the world should be ruled by serenity?" And to this you want to answer, "Actually, I do." Then when speaking with Hikawa again at the end of the Diet Building, he will ask you to stand aside and cease interruptions. At this point you want to answer "Fine by me" to trigger the second flag. Do those things and you will get Hikawa's ending, the Reason of Shijima. The Reason of Yosuga is the ending for Chiaki, and as with Musubi and Shijima, you don't want to complete the Labyrinth of Amala before entering the Tower of Kagutsuchi in order to get this ending. And you want to make sure that you don't trigger any of the flags for the Shijima and Musubi endings. Now as for the first flag, this one happens during the scene with Chiaki at the Mantra HQ after the events of the Assembly of Nihilo. Answer "Yeah, I get it" whenever Chiaki asks you, "You know what I'm saying, don't you?" And then later, during the scene with Chiaki and Futomimi at Mifunashiro, that happens after the Temple of Amala, Chiaki will say, "I know you understand what I mean." And to this you want to answer, "I see your point," in order to get the second trigger. Do these things and you will get Chiaki's ending, the Reason of Yosuga. The Freedom Ending is the ending for your teacher, Yuko. For this ending, you want to make sure that you don't complete the Labyrinth of Amala before entering the Tower of Kagutsuchi, and you don't want to hit any of the flags for either Yosuga, Musubi, or Shijima. The first flag for this ending comes when you speak with Yuko at the end of Yoyogi Park after you have obtained the Yahido no Himorogi. When asked if you fear suffering and humiliation, answer "I can take it." And then when she asks you again if you fear deceit and torment, again answer "I can take it." And then later when speaking to Hikawa at the end of the Diet Building, answer "Can't do that" when he asks you to stand aside and cease with the interruptions. Finally, be sure to tell Mitra at the Diet Building that you are not a demon. Do those things and you will get the ending for your teacher, Yuko. To get the neutral ending, you want to make sure that you don't trigger any of the flags for the Musubi, Shijima, or Yosuga endings, and of course you want to make sure that you do not complete the Labyrinth of Amala before entering the Tower of Kagutsuchi. Then during the scene with Yuko at the end of Yoyogi Park after obtaining the Yahido no Himorogi, answer as follows. When asked if you fear suffering and humiliation, answer "I'm terrified." And then also answer "I'm terrified" again when asked if you fear deceit and torment. Finally, make sure to tell Mitra at the Diet Building that you are a demon, and doing those things will get you the neutral ending. Finally, we have the most involved ending, the True Demon Ending. To get this ending, you must complete the Labyrinth of Amala before entering the Tower of Kagutsuchi. If you do happen to enter the Tower of Kagutsuchi before completing the Labyrinth of Amala, you will be locked out of this ending and will receive one of the 5 other endings. Conversely, if you beat the Labyrinth of Amala before entering the Tower of Kagutsuchi, then the rest of the choices you made throughout the game won't matter and you will be locked into the True Demon ending. However, the process of completing the labyrinth is another story, as you will need to defeat a number of bosses throughout the game world in order to even progress throughout the labyrinth. The first 3 being Matador, Daisojo, and Hellbiker. Matador can't be missed as it is a mandatory fight. Daisojo can be found in the northeast area of Mantra HQ after meeting with Gozuten no for the first time, and Hellbiker can be found on the highway outside of Ikebukuro. Once you've defeated those 3, you will need to view a scene at the beginning of the second Kalpa in the Labyrinth of Amala before you can fight the rest of the bosses, which are White Rider, Red Rider, Black Rider, Pale Rider, Mother Harlot, and Trumpeter. White Rider can be found outside of the save terminal in Asakusa, Red Rider can be found outside of the save terminal in the Great Underpass of Ginza after you've defeated White Rider, Black Rider can be found in room 204B inside of the Shinjuku Medical Center after completing the obelisk, Pale Rider can be found in the underground area of Asakusa that becomes available after Futomimi's speech in Mifunashiro. Mother Harlot can be found in a small room on the far west side of Yoyogi Park after completing it. And finally, Trumpeter can be found at Yudakucho Station. With those demons defeated, you will be able to access each Kalpa in the Labyrinth of Amala, allowing you to complete it entirely. After that, just follow the game as you normally would in order to get the True Demon ending. And that about does it for all the information you need to obtain each of Nocturne's 6 endings. Hopefully this video was helpful for you, and if it was, please be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And as usual, if you have any questions about this video, Nocturne, or any other game that I cover, do be sure to hit me up over on Twitch at twitch.tv/RoslinGaming or over my Discord server, both of which again are linked in the video description. Until next time, take care.